Chicago Sky's head coach Teresa Weatherspoon is visibly frustrated after another loss to the Phoenix Mercury last night. And she went to the post-game press conference and she was very frustrated. And she said some things about her guard play that a lot of people have been saying, the inconsistency of the guards. But before we get off into today's podcast, tell a friend to tell a friend. Well, last night, the Chicago Skies dropped another game to the Phoenix Mercury, coming out of the Olympic break. Now, they have played Phoenix 2 times in 3 outings. Now, they beat the LA Sparks, which they should have won that game. We saw signs and glimpses of what Raquel Banham is able to do for you. She's able to spread the floor, knock down shots. And I think that was the consideration for the trade. When they traded away Marina Mabrey to the Connecticut Suns in return for Mariah Jefferson and Raquel Banham, they thought they had something, which they freed up some space, they freed up some cap, and also they got 2 first-round draft picks back. But at that time, Marina Mabrey was Chicago Sky's best three-point shooter. She was shooting it at 35%. She was averaging 16 points a game. She was the leading person in assists. And right now, we talk about Kennedy Carter, what she brings to the table. She's a high motor guard. She can get to the rack with the best of them. She got a mid-range game, but she don't shoot the 3 ball at a high clip. Her playmaking skills, it's elevating now. Last night, she had 6 assists. She was inserted back in the starting lineup, coming off of illness. But what we have seen is the inconsistency of the guard play. Now, last night against the Phoenix Mercury, they was 0 of 14 from 3-point range. And what stood out to me was coming off of that LA Sparks game where Raquel Banham, she had 16 points. She had 3 3-pointers. And to go last night and go over and didn't even score on the many possessions that y'all had offensively because of the offensive rebounding by Angel Reese. Now, Angel Reese had an excellent game last night. 18 points, 19 points, 20 rebounds. Second chance points was given Chicago Skies the opportunity to make a lot of shots, but they just wasn't knocking them down. The inconsistency, and I did a show yesterday talking about Angel Reese needs help. Angel Reese does need help. Outside of Kennedy Carter, there's nobody out there really to help out Angel Reese. Now, Carmela Cardoso, inconsistent. She came off of a stellar game against the Los Angeles Sparks, and then against the Phoenix Mercury, it's like, she takes a step back. Like I said, we've been trying to give her the benefit of the doubt because of the injury, still coming off that shoulder surgery. But, you got 13 games left in the regular season. And you got 13 games to stay out in the playoff hunt. But Teresa Weatherspoon is visually frustrated with her inconsistency of the guard play. And I said that Angel Reese needs help. And I think Teresa Weatherspoon is listening and hearing, the rumblings out there. The inconsistent guard play. And a lot of people will say, well, it's Teresa Weatherspoon's fault. Do they need to fire her? Is she a good coach? No, it has nothing to do with Teresa Weatherspoon. I think Teresa Weatherspoon is doing a great job with this team on what she has. Because basically, coming into this year, once they drafted Angel Reese, this was a program, an organization that was building. And they're not supposed to be where they're at now, holding down that 8th spot in the playoffs. They wasn't supposed to be here. They were supposed to finish 12th out of 12 teams. That's where they was projected, but they proved a lot of people wrong, and that's because of the play of Angel Reese. And then you sprinkle in there Kennedy Carter, but outside of that, once they traded away Marina Mabrey, Their outside shooting is dismal. And Teresa Weatherspoon spoke about it. So I'm going to let y'all listen to what Teresa Weatherspoon said in her post-game press conference after the loss to Phoenix yesterday. And she alluded to everything that I'm saying about the guard play, that the Chicago Sky's guard play is inconsistent. So take a listen to what Coach Teresa Weatherspoon had to say.
We have shots offensively. We just have to knock the shots down. They work a lot on their individual skills, shooting shots all the time. But when we have open shots, we have to be shot makers. That's important for us to be shot makers. We have more possessions. Normally, you see this many possessions more than your opponent. Normally, you'll say you got a victory. But it's about what are we doing when we get those offensive rebounds? What are we doing when we get those extra possessions? What are we doing? Are we trying to find the open person? Are we finding the open person? It's a little disappointing.
Now, you heard what Coach Teresa Weatherspoon said, man. It's kind of disappointing because she alluded to a lot of things that I've been saying. Angel Reese is a monster on the rebounds. She's getting you extra possessions on the offensive end. And like Teresa Weatherspoon said, when you have this many offensive possessions, this should cultivate to winning. But it's not, because they coming up empty because of the fact that when you don't have shot makers, like she said, that can knock down shots, your team is flawed. Kennedy Carter is an exceptional basketball player. She is wonderful for what Chicago Sky have her there for. And she's a high motor just like Angel Reese. But you need another guard to coincide with her. And, trading Marina Mabry away, she's not walking in that door no time soon. So the Chicago Sky's organization has to figure this out. But they have to address the shooting woes. And that's their problem. Because we seen in the first game out of the Olympic break when they played Phoenix, when they didn't have Kennedy Carter, they didn't have no other guards to make plays. And what happened? They started double, triple teaming Angel Reese because of the fact that they knew that they didn't have no guards to make shots. Now you play the LA Sparks and you saw what they're capable of doing if they make shots. But against Phoenix, 2 20-point losses against Phoenix, the same thing occurred. Nobody could throw a rock in the ocean from the outside. They was 0 of 14 from the three-point range. And they don't take enough three-point shots. Marina Mabry, when she was in Chicago, she was taking 4 to 5 three-pointers a game. The next closest person to that, I think, was Diamond DeShields. She was taking 2. So, it's the fact of the matter is that I don't think that they have enough guard play to compete in the WNBA coming down the stretch. I really don't think. It's mind-blowing. I just don't think they have enough firepower to compete with some of these upper echelon teams in the WNBA to make a significant playoff push. We saw what Lindsey Allen was capable of against the LA Sparks. She was nowhere to be found against the Phoenix Mercury. You brought in Raquel Banham. She showed glimpses against the LA Sparks. Nowhere to be found yesterday. Didn't even scratch the surface. Had 0 points. Mariah Jefferson. She was the DMP against the LA Sparks, but she got in last night against the Phoenix Mercury. Nowhere to be found. Dana Evans. I think she, outside of her and Diamond DeShields come off the bench, Dana Evans, I think she's taking 2 3-pointers a game. That's not enough. They need shooting. They have the 2 bigs in the inside to murky up the waters, but they need shooting. And Coach Teresa Weatherspoon, she addressed that. She's visibly frustrated, and she's calling out her guards. They have to be better. They have to be better. But that's going to wrap up today's episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K. Sapp. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces. And remember, on your way out the door, do me a favor. When you put your shoes on, give this video a thumbs up. And make sure You subscribe to the channel. Make sure you got your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball Dropping drops another hot banger. And we're going to catch you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.